Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Hotline League. And it is a great one because we're headed into a break. There's going to be no League of Legends for a little bit, but we have curated an amazing lineup of guests for this week, and I'm really excited to introduce you to both of them in just a second. But first off, let me introduce you to my co-host. It's none other than Cubby. Cubby, how's it going?
I'm good. We don't have the same break for Challengers League, so we're still cooking there.
Oh, you still have League of Legends going on?
Yeah, we do. We've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We got 3 best of 3s on each of those days. So we actually have a lot of League. And money matches to boot as well. So winners get to take home some cash. But
nice.
It's nice to have League. I know that the break is 50-50. I had a nice weekend, though. I was able to catch up on some media and enjoyed a little bit of LA. But yeah, excited to be joined by these two guys today.
Nice. Well, I will have to catch up with you in just a second. But first, let me introduce our first guest of the evening. It's none other than Castle, who is, I think, doing his first ever English talk show. Castle, have you done other talk shows in League of Legends esports?
No, it's my first time.
Okay. Did you do any in Korean, or is this your first talk show ever?
I think it's first time ever.
All right. Well, everyone's going to be really nice to you tonight. Don't worry. You're going to be doing great. How are you? Are you looking forward to the break? I know you'll still be scrimming, but is the break nice for you, or do you wish there were games this weekend?
We took like 3 days off. 3 days off. So just after energy match, just mind control, keep calm, and focus on practice.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that you were able to take a couple days off. Looking forward to hearing more from you on this week's episode. And then we also have, from Cloud9, we have Berserker. Berserker, is this the first talk show you've done? Have you done other talk shows? Wait, did you do this talk show previously? I'm trying to remember.
I don't think so. I think it's my first time.
Yes. All right. Well, congratulations on your first talk show as well. We're great. We're super honored to have you on as the first talk show you're doing in the League space. How are you spending the break? I know there's some scrims for you, but do you get to do anything cool during this break between matches?
I mean, basically we're just chilling. I mean, like, for a professional gamer, if you don't have like match, you're like basically like jamness, you know? So I just enjoy this time.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, I'm glad that you're able to relax a little bit, even if you got to scrim and do a bunch of stuff. So, yeah, we're gonna get into all of that this episode and many other things. But Cubby, how has your week been?
It's been good. I'm one episode away from being caught up on House of the Dragon. I'm caught up on the Acolyte, which we don't have to talk about that here. Even though I do see Berserker has some Star Wars paraphernalia behind him, which I enjoy. I'm also a big Star Wars fan, Berserker.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then Saturday was fun too. I saw your roommate and birthday boy out, Travis. And that
you were out at the party that Cody was at? Is that why neither of you showed up to the Magic draft that you told me you were going to be a part of?
Yes, very much so, Travis. A lot of people showed up there and was like, I'm not going to hang out that long. And then everyone ended up hanging out for a really long time, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah.
You know what's heartbreaking is I thought Revenge and I were cool. And then I heard from Kobe that he had Saturday night plans going to Revenge's going away party and also / birthday party. And that night I also had just taken Mark and Kobe out for their birthdays because their birthdays on the same day. It's kind of funny. And I was a little disappointed to learn that apparently Revenge and I not as cool as I thought we were. So, and then not only are we not as cool as we thought we were, but my roommate and my co-host are also both not as cool with me as I thought they were when they didn't show up on Sunday. So,
oh, bummer.
Yeah.
I owe you one there. It was I enjoyed watching my Challengers League Sunday morning. I needed it. We were able to watch from the setup in bed. So yeah, it was fun.
Well, I do want to ask. I mean, you mentioned the shows that you watch. Let me ask Berserker and Castle. Berserker, you've got Star Wars stuff behind you. Do you watch any shows, or what types of shows do you like to watch? Have you been watching anything lately?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't watch Star Wars, but this is C9 House, right?
Yes.
So someone like draw it like long time ago, I guess.
Okay.
And then this day, I didn't watch like movie or like drama or something like this day. I just like go out and then just dinner with my friend or lunch with my friends. So
Nice. No
just
TV
enjoy
shows
that.
for you. How about you, Castle? Are you watching anything?
Just watch some YouTube or like Instagram Reels or shorts, like just like that. Not like
Nice.
long one like movie, movie or drama.
Yeah. What YouTube channels do you like to watch, Castle?
This time is just focus on hourly play, the SS match,
Yeah.
and some SK match for running something.
Gotcha. I love that. I thought you were going to say like a YouTube vlogger or something, and you're like, I
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
VODs. It's always fun talking to League of Legends players about how they like to spend their time, because you say, what do you do when you're not playing League of Legends? And they say, I watch League of Legends. It's very funny. Well, either way, glad to have you both on, as I said. Thank you to our sponsors for this episode, Prize Picks, NZXT, and Kia. We'll be talking more about each of them as the show goes on. But what was the big news this week? First off, we had a banger week in LCS. Close matches, really exciting games. We all were thrilled with how great the matches were this weekend at LCS. Right, Cubby?
Yeah, they were certainly, we really got to take advantage of the best of 3 format this weekend with running it back. No, honestly, it is. I feel like there's a little bit of disparity right now in the standings, and like, on pros, they're talking about a pretty clear top 3, and then a potential 4th in like Dig or 100 Thieves, but Dig, of course, beat 100 Thieves. So, It felt like kind of a buzzkill going into the break, given that we didn't have any close matches. But I am hoping that coming out of the break, as some of the teams have more times, we get some good ones in the back half. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Castle, I know, obviously, I'm sure you're sad that the games went with NRG the way they did, but did you get to watch any of the other games this weekend? Was it strange to see everything just feel so stompy?
To be honest, I played first match
Yeah.
of this week, so after match we lost and just chill. Yeah, didn't watch.
That's good for
Didn't
mental
watch. You're like,
health.
I'm done. Berserker, how about you? I mean, what did you think of this weekend's matches? Because they were so one-sided, I feel like.
I don't remember like exactly, but I just watch like when I eat something or like when I do nothing,
Yeah.
I remember something, yeah.
Yeah.
But Berserker, what kind of food have you been enjoying since you brought it up twice? Like, what do you like to eat in your own time? Do you have any favorites?
First of all, I don't like any food at all, like cheese, burger, or like pizza. So like I just order like some Korean food or like some healthy food,
Okay, I like that.
good.
I had some salads this weekend. That felt good, Travis.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we as we said, we had the games that were this past weekend that were pretty maybe not so hype, but I think there's an interesting conversation that perhaps we'll have on the show about the format. I'm curious to see how Castle and Berserker are feeling about things as we've seen for the past, I don't know, I guess we're now 3 weeks into it. But what other major news happened, Cubby, or anybody else in the chat? I think it's been kind of a quiet week. I'm just looking over the subreddit right now. We had the trash talk with Dignitas, which popped off and then apparently didn't go very far. We had a couple interviews, but mostly it's been kind of a quiet week. So I think we're going to use this episode to mostly talk about the games and sort of the state of the league, no pun intended, as we go through the week 3 stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of nice to finally have a quiet week of news, Travis.
Yes.
Quite frankly.
I'm without Riot announcing some crazy revolutionary change to their system.
Yeah. I am looking forward to talking about the game with these two. So,
yes.
If you guys have any calls that you want to drop or have takes or want to have a chance to talk with these guys, feel free to go to the discord.gg/Travis. Also, command Discord can get you there. drop your take at me, at Cubby within the Discord. And if it's good, I'll drag you into the waiting room, and then we can go from there. And you can give the take with the panel here and get our thoughts, and then the big brain thoughts of Castle and Berserker and what they think too.
Yeah, I do think one thing to mention is that we are going to probably be focusing a lot on the game, a lot on meta stuff this episode. I know over the last couple of weeks we've been spending a lot of time just talking about these. We've been talking about esports meta issues, not really like League of Legends meta stuff. So we are, we're open to talk about other things as well. Again, I think we can talk about the format or I don't know, and if people feel passionately or they have some interesting take, we can pull that as well. But I think we are going to be looking to make at least half or more of the takes this week, specifically about the games, as this past weekend, about how the teams are shaking out, about the League of Legends meta, all that type of stuff. So please, if you're trying to get on the show and you have a take that or something like that, I think that's a great way to get on. Also want to give a couple shout outs here. Thank you to, while Cubby is pulling takes, everybody who is a sub or a member, if you're a Twitch sub or a YouTube member. One thing I did start doing this past week is that I made it so that I'm going to start doing a monthly exclusive YouTube membership video. And you can always go see them in the past as well. And the one that I did this past week was a 40-minute video that's kind of a rant on the state of esports business in 2024. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can get access to the YouTube channel for just $2.99 a month. If you want to, there's a higher tier if you want to support a little bit more than that. But that will let you watch that video. And then I'm also currently taking requests for topics because I like to have it be something where the members can both propose topics and then vote on them as well. So, and if you are a sub or a member, you can get access to the subtopics channel on Discord. If you link your stuff to Discord, that's where you can put some takes in. It moves a little slower, and so if you want to get on the show tonight and you're looking to do so, make sure you're dropping that into the subtopics chat. So I know it's kind of a slower flow tonight of topics, it looks like, Cubby. So maybe we should start with one of the ones that we've got in the waiting room. I see a couple people in the waiting room, and then we wait and see if other folks can come up with some good game topics.
I did drag a couple, so
cool.
I'm excited. By the way, Castle or Berserker, is there anything that you guys are hoping to talk about, or anything that you are hoping to maybe have a caller calling about?
Yeah, what have you all thought of the split so far 3 weeks in? Castle, what do you think of LCS this summer split?
For us, for Immortals, at least I think we should win NRG this week.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, just 0-2. So, but we are kind of playing as a team, as an individual 5 players. That's the biggest difference of the last season. So the result was not good, but we are kind of improving. So
yeah, that's good. What have you thought of the other teams this split, Castle?
They're actually upgrade a lot of things.
Yeah.
The C9 top laner, Dig Roster, and Shopify jungler. So they're kind of upgrading. So kind of hard split for us, harder than last split, I think.
Yeah. Good. Well, good to hear sort of your take on this. And then Berserker, how about yourself? What are you thinking about, or how do you feel about the current, first 3 weeks of the league?
For me, it's changed just BO1, from BO1 to BO3, right? For me, it's really that system, because we go last split we go stage, and then we just met random Sayo mid, and then we got panic, and then we just pick Bane, and then we lost, right? So it's gonna be never happen again.
Yeah.
I feel so it's good to we just see game 1 what they pick, or what are we good at, and then we just talking later, and then we just go game 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I really like that. For about on other teams, I feel I really expect to FlyQuest and then TR, because they are just became from MSI, right?
Yeah.
If you go international tournament, then it should be really improve as a team, right? Because there are a lot of good player, and then you can learn from about them. But like I felt like now they're pretty good, I think. But like beginning season, like before season start, we like were scream them, right? But I like feel like it's like downgrade. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
was kind of That was kind of
I was gonna ask for FlyQuest specifically, Berserker.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, keep going. Sorry.
That was kind of impressive for me. And then, to be honest, I don't really think C9 and FlyQuest and then except C9 and FlyQuest and TR is like that strong team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
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 Well-
It does feel like we have a very sound like top 3, and then people were like maybe dig at 4, and then from there it's kind of like, all right, who's gonna round out playoffs at the moment?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Dignitas stuff, I feel like the Dig fans should be feeling a little nervous, I think, based off of how things have been trending for them lately. But I think we might be good for our first caller. Cubby, if you want to go grab them.
Yeah, sounds good. We got a couple in the tank, but we were still taking more takes, and there are a lot more coming in. So if you guys have anything else that you want to talk to Council Berserker or us about, feel free to bring it up, and yeah, we'll keep on pulling throughout the show. So let's go.
Awesome. Well, off Cubby goes to grab our first caller. Castle, they explained to you how the show works, right? That we have people call in, fans call in and talk on the show.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Okay, good. Well, that's what we'll be doing. So we'll have a fan on of the show in a second, as Cubby goes and grabs them. But first off, thank you to I Work at Walmart for gifting 5 subs. Very generous of you. Perchy99 for the tier 1. Keon with the Prime. Finance Consultant, thank you for resubbing. Mac to Ace, thanks for the resub. Shauna Tonin, and then Mouth69, thank you for that, for all those subs. So thank you, everybody. We've got our first caller of the night here. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is DJ Ninja. I'm calling in from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
DJ Ninja, what do you want to talk about on the show?
Yeah, so my take is that after their loss to FlyQuest this week, I think Dignitas is a team that this break could be the most crucial for on whether or not they will evolve or regress as a team.
All right, and why do you think that's the case?
I think the real big case for this looks like a team that could have high highs or low lows. That series against Thieves, they look pretty good. This series against FlyQuest, they did not look good in. And my worry is that this could cause them to, with the long break, they could maybe fall apart. But I also think this could be a really good chance for them to evolve as a team as well. And that's why I think this break, especially because they lost, could be a really good chance for them to either evolve or they will fall apart. And I don't know which one they'll do.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, spice up your take a little bit. Pick a side. Which side are they going to get better, or are they going to continue to struggle?
I'm hoping they get better, but I think they might continue to struggle.
All right. So if you had to guess, you would say that they are probably not going to get better, but it's kind of make it or break it for them this week or for these couple of weeks.
Exactly. They have a month off. I think this is a really good chance for them to improve, but at the same time, they might not.
Yeah. Cubby, what do you think?
I don't know. I think that the thing with Dignitas that's so interesting is that, like, the scrim rumors were one thing, and then what we saw on stage was another. And when you look at that roster, it adds up given the experience that you have. And I don't know. Like, I really felt like after their win week 2, like I thought I saw something with Dignitas, because with some of those players, like, they weren't playing last split, and there are a lot of competitors over there. And I think the fact that they are playing together as this crew, they all have something in common to bond over. The fact that they realize, like, hey, this is our chance to kind of prove that we should be in this league 24/7 together. And a lot didn't have spots in the league, not because of their individual performance, but just because there wasn't room, or teams just went different directions, right? I don't think anyone's ever been like, Licorice, Spica, Sven shouldn't be in LCS. All those players are good enough to be playing at this level. But for me, this kind of gave Dig like a common thread to have as a team, where I felt like they could compete together. And I think that like this is the team for me where right now, I mean, it's 3 top teams in the LCS, then it's who's going to compete like from there. It feels like Dignitas are the closest ones to compete. And if you have a couple weeks off where you're able to kind of lock things down and try and improve, I have faith in those guys to improve. They've all held LCS trophies at one point. I think that they can do so again, frankly. So I'm really hoping that when we get out of LCS, like the 5 teams have kind of caught up to the top 3, and we have a little bit more of a competitive league and a higher level of play. Because right now, it really does feel like TL, FlyQuest, and C9 are just playing a little bit of a different game.
Yeah. Castle, is Dignitas good or bad?
Dignitas better than when the beginning.
Very good in the beginning, you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they good now?
Yep.
Yes?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. You said you have not watched this week's game from them, though, right?
Yeah.
Berserker's laughing. Berserker, I assume you had a chance to watch some of the Dignitas game. What did you think of it? Oh, you're muted, I think.
Go muted, yeah.
Hello?
Yes, there you go. Oh, we lost you again.
Oh.
You said hello, and then you immediately muted again.
Hello.
Yes.
That series was kinda like hurt my heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like 2 game was like both like 250 and 25 minutes or something, right? That was like kind of fast running for me. So yeah.
Yeah.
And for my perspective, I mean, I like Dig player, and then I hoping they're doing well. But when I first met them, I thought like they're actually pretty good. Like, cause like we didn't scream like at all before we play with them. So like, yeah. Also, like game was almost like close, right? So I thought they were pretty good. And then next week we screamed them, and then I felt like they got like a lot of like rest, right? Like 3 people.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to like not doing well in scrim. But I feel like even they're taking break and then practice like 3 weeks, I'm just not sure who gonna carry the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, when I saw their roster, like Licorice, he's like really good top liner. But like his like best champion is like Kusante and like Poppy or like some like front line, right? And the Jensen also like Jensen play like some kind of carry champ, but he play Azir. I mean, he's really good at like control mage, but I don't think like Jensen is like that like hard to carry like player. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then like for Zban, Zban also like really good player. I think he's really smart, and then yeah, he know like how to win. He know like win guns, but yeah, I mean, for my perspective, he's also like kind of like give some resource to like jungle or like mid, and then you know that kind of player. So I'm just not sure like who's gonna carry the game. Yeah.
But Berserker, if you're the coach of Dignitas, who would you want to have carried the game on that team? It sounds like Sven might make the most sense given how you described it, but I'm curious what you think.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure, cause like when
Yeah?
we scream versus them, they're yeah, they're just like yeah, eating a lot in scream. So maybe Zban, I guess.
Yeah.
Zban, I mean, at least Zban is like doesn't die, and then you know, at least in scream. So yeah, I might give Zban to carry position.
Castle, how bad are Dignitas in scrims?
How bad? But these days, our team also was bad in Scream, so can't explain like well. But Dignitas, I felt like when we did Scream into Dignitas, they kind of unsync, like unconnect on vision game or like side game. But their individual play, like mechanical play, is kind of good. So I think
Yeah.
they just need like time to connect or build team.
Can they do it in 3 weeks?
But I also think they're like stage players, so it could be like bad for them, like
Yeah.
3 weeks breaks.
Yeah, they just have 3 weeks of bad scrims.
Yeah.
And they have to go back on stage. It's actually just get worse over the course of this period. That would be tragic because I really want this team to do well. I think it was such a heartbreaker when we'd had really fun videos and really fun hype. FlyQuest versus Dignitas, and they were Dignitas I think put out a great video, and you really want Dignitas to feel like a team that can be good, and then we just see them come out and like kind of suck against FlyQuest. So I don't know, it's just a heartbreaker.
I was told that Scrim Dignitas and Scrim FlyQuest both showed up on the same day, and that's what we got on stage. So, hey Castle, you said that you felt some of the teams upgraded this split. Licorice, the top laner of Dignitas, he's new this split. What's it been like playing against him?
Actually, I didn't play on stage, so I'm not sure, but he's really solid player, I think.
Yeah.
Really solid player, and laning page is pretty decent, so but normal good player, but yeah, overall it's good.
All right, Cubby, we asked them, do you think that they'll be able to turn around and get back into it?
I mean, it's kind of weird for Dig, because for me, it's almost like a not turn around. Like I think where I had Dignitas heading into the season, I think I had them 4th or 5th in terms of, where I had them ranked, and it feels like they're kind of performing close to that at the moment. And I don't care about scrim rumors, scrims are scrims, and again, even Castle's answer there, right, is Castle's like, I haven't played Licorice on stage yet. The game's different on there. I think that this is a team I still have faith in. It's just at the moment, like the real question for me is who can crack the top 3, because like TL, I look at their play and I'm like, okay, wow, these guys have like really strong map movements, and even when they make mistakes, they play map low enough where they can get away with it and still have econ and win game, right? And then C9's early games have been blistering. I think that the last 2 series that Berserker has played with C9, I do think that they had a lot of opportunities to drive home their leads early, but they still took those in stride. And against 2 teams that are not at the top of the standings right now in Immortals and Shopify Rebellion, I mean, C9 really played out clean games and turned that into clean victories. Between that, I think more like better direction for me in their drafts. I think C9 looks really strong. And then FlyQuest, obviously coming off the series against Dig, they killed any hype for that series. They were our finalist last year. And I think that the meta for me actually, like I saw AP jungle meta and I immediately thought like, oh God, like that's great for Inspired, right? I feel like he's a player that can really take advantage of that. And I think that the games that FlyQuest have dropped, it still kind of is coming from quad adjusting to on stage, and that team beating themselves a bit, which I do expect given the team. But outside of that, like I haven't seen a team really compete. I think the Dignitas C9 series was close, but what Castle was saying, like the team wasn't always linked up in vision and how they moved. Like Licorice wasn't at 2 fights in game 3, and I feel like that was the big difference at the end of that. C9 took a couple really good fights in the end, and that's the closest we've seen Dig kind of compete to the top 3. So I think it's just like overall, I think Dignitas are the most likely team to step up, but like for me, for this to be successful in a break, you have to actually start upsetting teams above you in the standings. And keep in mind that, I mean, the score, like the end of the split, it's going to be a series score out of 7, right? You don't have many opportunities to actually net wins. And so every series really matters. And I think that given the strength of schedule that Dignitas has, they're really going to need the Nacho win or 2, because they've played C9 and Fly already. They have to face TL, but I want to see them really take care of business,
Yeah. Yeah, I do think the strength of schedule stuff is pretty interesting. So
there's a scrim meta behind it, which is quite interesting.
Oh, really?
Well, given what Berserker said already, right? Like they played Dignitas week 1, and then they're able to scrim Dignitas afterwards because they know they aren't going to play that team for months in advance.
Yeah.
So like the fact that FlyQuest and TL played each other week 1, I actually thought was a huge advantage, because now they get to scrim each other for pretty much the rest of the split. And FlyQuest, like looking at their schedule, I think they play C9 like week 5. So like they can scrim C9 like early season before they play TL. Then they play TL. They can kind of scrim both. Like then they don't scrim C9. They can scrim like whoever else is strong. Like there's actually kind of like a real metagame between what your schedule is and who you scrim that I find interesting. I've talked to a couple people about it behind the scenes.
Oh, I was going to ask Berserker, how, like, if you know that you're going to be facing a team in the next couple of weeks, when do you stop wanting to scrim with them? Oh, I think you're muted again. There we go, yeah. Oh, we lost you. It's so funny. It'll pop in when you say hello, and then right as soon as you start talking again, it cuts out.
Hello.
Yes, hello. Okay.
Can you say again?
Yes. My question was, when you know, how long before you play a team on stage do you stop scrimming them? Like, if you're going to face Team Liquid in 3 weeks, do you not scrim them at all? Do you scrim them only for a week until it's 2 weeks away, until it's 1 week away? How long before you stop scrimming a team?
I prefer just like give like twice a week, and like keep like some day off to like twice a week or something, you know.
Okay.
I don't want to like break like straight, cause like if we break like straight, then I believe that we all just like forgot everything we did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I meant
like,
specifically when you're going to, like, if you're going to face a team,
Yeah.
you don't want to scrim them right before you face them,
Oh,
right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many weeks before you face a specific team do you stop scrimming that team?
I prefer 1 week or 2 weeks.
Okay.
Maybe it's 1 week, cause like LCS just keep changing like patch note, right? Patch version, right?
Yeah.
So meta is gonna be different or like every week. So I think it's just 1 week.
Yeah. Jack in the chat says for C9 on their end, they say 2 weeks optimally, but we've done 1 week before. So yeah, sounds like exactly what you're saying, Berserker. 1 to 2 weeks is sort of the C9 philosophy. So yeah, that is interesting that has sort of developed, Cubby.
Yeah.
DJ, what do you want to say here? Anything at the end?
Yeah, I would say I do have I guess my question would be now, if, as you're saying, with Stigma's strength of schedule, do they now have the chance to, like, maybe face Fly and C9 a bit more in scrims, and that could help them level up?
I mean, it depends on if people want to face Dig. Because the problem is everybody says Dig is bad in scrims, and so it sounds like people don't necessarily want to scrim them. Like, Berserker, are you happy to scrim Dig if you can, or do you prefer to scrim FlyQuest or Team Liquid?
I mean, of course it's tier or FlyQuest.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, like now, like tier and FlyQuest leaving for like esports World Cup, right, to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, normally we scrim like, let's say we have like 5-day scrim like in a week. We do like 3-day. We do like 3-day in a row tier or fly, and then
Okay.
like 2-day we just like we just play like IMT or like Dignitas or like NRG. You know?
Yeah.
But like now they are all gone, so
Oh, there you go. Hopefully that answers or gives a little bit of context, DJ. Because I do wonder if it's hard for Dignitas to find like the scrim partners that they want. But I guess maybe things will work out well for them because FlyQuest and Team Liquid, who are probably the more sought after scrim partners, are unavailable at the moment. So, but yeah, anything you want to shout out here at the end, DJ?
Yeah, I want to shout out this comment that Jack has put in the chat about how Dig is great to scrim the day before match for that confidence boost.
Yeah, exactly. They're really great at
Makes
helping
sense.
to boost teams. So, yeah.
But shout out my sleeper league. We weren't able to play this season because we had someone drop out, and I really miss it now.
Yeah, well, shout out to your sleeper league. I'm so sorry you weren't able to do that, but might recommend Prize Picks, sponsor of the show. Either way, thank you so much, DJ, for the call, and we'll catch you next time. All right. Speaking of sponsors of the show, and seeing that Jack is in the chat, I think he'll be excited for me to showcase this sponsor, which is Kia. Shout out to Kia. Berserker and I share Kia as a sponsor, and they are fantastic. It's been really cool to have them be a part of the sponsorship of the show and some of the other content that we've been doing this split. And one of the really cool stories that I wanted to share is Aika. I hope I'm pronouncing this correct, but if people go over on my Twitter, they'll see Aika, who is a member of this community of Travis Gafford's Industries, Discord, etc., was tweeting at me earlier this past week and was saying, hey, I am going to go buy a Kia this week because of the sponsorship of not just you, although I think it's primarily me, but also of some of the other teams like or in the LCS, like NRG and Cloud9, and then also of LCS. And so after Aika got the vehicle, he tweeted at Kia and myself and let me know that sent me a picture of the new vehicle, which is awesome. So congratulations to Aika on the new Kia. And it's definitely the first time that I have, we've sold computers, we've sold energy drinks, we've sold all sorts of stuff through our sponsorships on the show. And it's pretty crazy that we've now gotten to the part where people are buying vehicles because of this. So first off, just shout out to Aika for that. Other than that, I'm really excited to say that in the middle of July, and I've mentioned this a couple times, but I am going to be borrowing from Kia an EV9, which I'll be getting to drive around. I'm currently looking at maybe taking it on a road trip, which might require me playing some hooky from the LCS, but they're going to be in the closet that week anyway, so I think maybe it's a good time for me to go out on the open road with the EV9 with some friends. So more details on where that's going as I start to sort it out, but it's pretty cool that Kia's loaning me an EV9 to drive around it. I'm going to really enjoy that, and it's great to have them on as a sponsor of the show. Thank you to Aika for buying the Kia and for letting us know. And if anybody else is interested in purchasing a Kia, it's great for renewal whenever we could go into the those conversations and show several different posts from people who decided to go buy a Kia because of it. So feel free to keep those conversations going as that happens. You could always hit me up and say, hey, guess what? I just bought an EV9 or an EV6 or anything like that. And I will definitely figure out ways to get that information back to Kia. But thank you to Kia for sponsoring the show, for being such a proud supporter of League of Legends esports. And it's great to have you all with us as we're going through this. So thanks to Kia. All right, Cubby, you want to go grab the next caller?
Yeah, for sure. We'll see if they have a Kia in the tank. They're ready to buy.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's cool. So, yeah, Jack in the chat says the EV9 is sick. That's what we ended up buying. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So,
True.
Yeah. Berserker, I think, has done some content for Kia in which he posed as me. He dressed up like me, and I saw it, and it was an interesting interpretation. All right, we've got Sharpie here. Sharpie, where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Scottsdale, Arizona. What do you want to talk about on the show?
First of all, hi, Castle. My take is that contrary to popular belief, IMT is arguably the most invested LCS org out of all Scratch 10 8 teams. I'd like to explain why this is, why fans should actually be really excited that IMT is still in the league, and why they should continue to stay in next year in the expected downsize to 6 NA teams.
You're going to make us have this conversation in front of Castle? Oh, boy. Yes. Okay. Sharpie, what is your case here? Lay out the lineup here for Immortals, and also, what do you do at Immortals as an employee? Because I assume you must work with Immortals.
I do not. I have made a couple pieces of content with them for fun. I did a fun ARAM interview thing with Castle, which was a lot of fun. But outside of that, it's all for my own personal enjoyment. And okay. I just like they have a better color of blue. Sorry, Berserker. Right. Anyways, so
you sure about that?
Hey, I'm allowed to have my own opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I respect that. Yeah. Well, I like Shinai more, so yeah.
All right, Sharpie.
He's allowed to be wrong.
Lay it on me. Why is Immortals the greatest LCS org of all time, or whatever your take is?
So, whatever my take is, yeah. I want to run through a few things that IMT as an org does that differentiate them above a lot of other teams in the LCS. For example, I'm just going to read off. I put together a list here. They've taken more chances on rookies than any other team. They're the only team in the LCS to run a Tier 3 combine with their Immortals Winter Showcase. It had a bunch of teams and a $2,000 prize pool. They've partnered with collegiate teams. They've partnered with NACL teams. They have held private coaching combines. They are, as far as I know, still the only team to take advantage of that pro player co-streaming thing. Inero sponsored a team at the Montreal LAN tourney. I'm going to be biased here again. They have the best booth at FanFest because of the Boba Tea. They've got great content this year, and it's kind of a shame that more people aren't watching it because it's been really fun to watch. And one thing I've noticed for me personally is they've been very willing and helpful to collaborate with content creators, or especially up and coming content creators like myself, where I found for other teams it's been very, very difficult to try to get to do some content with players in the org itself. So that's just been
there's
a
the
bunch
bias.
of really cool things.
There's
Bunch
the
of cool
bias
things
at
that I
the end.
found.
All right. A few things with that list. It was quick, but I do want to go through a few. First off, the tier 3 combines, they aren't the only team to do that. As I know that Supernova did one, which they partner with NRG, and there were others. So it's not like they're the only one, but it is nice that IMT has done that in the past. Also, a couple of the things that you listed, they no longer have their hand in those projects, whereas other teams do now, in terms of stuff below LCS. So again, I appreciate the shout outs for what IMT's done in the past, but also like right now, TL, Bly, Energy, and C9 are the teams that officially have a hand in the space. The one thing I'll
Getting fact
give
checked
Sharpie,
live by Cubby, by the way, on tier 3.
yeah,
This is happening.
yeah, hire me, CNN. Anyway, the one thing that I will give Immortals, and something that I have enjoyed this year, is I actually think that they've done a better job with their content. I know it doesn't reach the masses, but I really appreciate some of like the behind the scenes looks and like moments that some of the players get. And I think that they've had a little bit more fun and kind of showed that everyone else is more fun and kind of human back there. So I'll give IMT a shout out for that. That said, as well, to my understanding, IMT is in better shape financially than what most people would believe. And that is another positive that I'll give IMT. Because that's not the case with every team in the league. So that's good as well. But yeah, in terms of the narrowing down, I think that a lot of people would expect IMT to be on the list of orgs that aren't going to stick around. But I actually, for me, they're not like, I think that the odds of them sticking around are a little bit higher than what most people would think. And yeah.
Why do you say that, Cubby?
Gut feeling, their investment as an org, the fact that they lack their hand in other projects. So if they exit, it's like a bigger exit in esports for them as a whole. Like this kind of is their flagship team and product. And yeah.
I know that when the announcement came out that a lot of teams were going to be, or that there were going to be a couple teams leaving both the LCS and CBLOL, there were multiple team owners or management from different teams that came out and said like, hey y'all, we're here for the long haul, we're really committed to the LCS, etc., etc. This could have been said somewhere on the Immortal side, but the problem is I don't know who's even running things on the executive side of that organization right now. So I'm curious if that was said somewhere. If anybody did see that, please let me know in the Twitch chat, because I think, or YouTube chat, because I think that would be particularly relevant. But I think the fact that I mean, as goofy as it is, I tend to value strong, visible leadership at organizations, and I feel like it is oftentimes the like lowest minimum threshold of making clear that like you are paying attention. You know, if you're a leader or an executive and you don't post on social, you don't ever come out with videos where you're like, hey, here's what we're doing, you aren't taking interviews, you aren't doing these types of things, I feel like it makes you seem like an absentee parent. And that is kind of a little bit of how I have felt about Immortals for a long time. That being said, I do really like the boba at the boba truck, whenever they bring that into the LCS. I think it's delicious, and I always get it.
I can speak on that topic, by the way.
Sure. On the boba?
IMT.
Do you like strawberry, or do you like the...
I like the IMT boba one. That one's really good.
Sure.
The melon one. But I asked in the Immortals Discord about why they aren't more vocal about, you know, posting on socials and updating with what is going on. And I think it was Coach Yip I was talking to about it. And he said basically the reason that they aren't more vocal is because at the end of the day, the public perception of a team is so heavily results based that it doesn't really matter what they say about their management or their decisions or things that they're trying to do to improve it or to improve things or fix things, fans will say it doesn't matter. You guys lost this weekend. Who cares? You know, that's going to be the perception. So he said we want to wait until we have better results first to start actually talking about how we are progressing as a team. We want to have the evidence to back it up first.
Sharpie, do you agree with that?
Do I agree with that personally? No. But it's a take to have.
It is a take to have, and I appreciate you sharing it. It is nice that you had a conversation with him, and that was the response. I feel like, to some extent, yes, it is true that like if you are constantly the organization that's coming out with like, sorry folks, we tried to get them today and we didn't get them, and that's a bummer, then people are just going to stop paying attention. I do think that if I was somebody who was running an organization and there was a big conversation about whether or not my team was going to be in the league next year, I think that maybe we'll wait until we're crushing it and then start talking strategy is maybe not relevant.
Yeah.
So
I will say on that end though, Travis, like there haven't been too many people that have come out and been like I don't know like what the rules or when it comes to talking around this, like that Riot's told the teams, right? Like I'm sure that there are a lot of teams that really want to stay, some that may not want to stay quite as much, but I haven't seen like a ton of statements on this, so I don't know.
I will say
it could be something as well to consider.
I will just say that from my understanding, so I'm so sorry, Castle, just plug your ears. I will say that from my understanding, the staff at Immortals do not feel particularly secure in their positions at this time. Not that they've been told that they shouldn't expect that, but like I don't know, it does not seem as though those folks are getting told, hey, don't worry, we're talking to Riot, we're going to make sure we're here, And so I mean, you saw, a great evidence of this, right, is Anero tweeting out like, I'm in danger in response to the announcement that came out, a week or two ago. So I don't know. I don't hear things over there that makes it sound as though everybody who's working there feels like super.
Anero's
on the
joking
flip
about
side,
being cursed a bit, So
I do want to say on the flip side though, is it better to be quiet because you're not sure what's going to happen in the future, or to promise players that they're going to have a spot next split and then Golden Guardians dip out of there?
Yeah. So I'm not talking about the players, by the way. I'm just talking about the staff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the staff told players that they would have spots in the upcoming split and then just dipped them out of there. And the last second, which was, I mean, to be fair, that was, from what I understand, mostly on the side of Golden State, as far as I've heard. But still, to promise them you're going to have a spot, you're going to have a job, you're going to be playing next split, and then like 2 weeks before to say, never mind, you're on Team McDonald's. So
I'll tell you a personal story. When I was working at Yahoo, some people don't know that I did that, but when I was working at Yahoo in 2016 and 2017, they were spending all this time trying to get government approval for Verizon to buy out Yahoo. And it was a big issue because if you're at Yahoo, you're like, oh, am I going to like survive the merger? Like if Verizon acquires Yahoo, am I going to have a job on the other side of this? And so what Yahoo had to do was tell everybody that was there, like, hey, stick around. If you do get laid off after the Verizon acquisition, you're going to get paid like 6 months severance. And you're going to do all this stuff. Like they did a lot to make people feel like they could stay there. Now, I'm not suggesting Immortals is Yahoo, but I do think that it is an example of if you are at a company, if you're running a company and your employees are feeling insecure about the future of the company, you should probably take steps to make those people feel more secure so that they, A, don't try to go get other jobs, and B, don't check out of the work that they're doing for you. So I feel like that is my take on like the Immortal stuff. Like I do feel there are lovely people over there, some of whom helped facilitate Castle getting on the show tonight and who I've enjoyed talking to through the years, and I would love it if those people felt a little more secure in their positions, because I think that they put in a lot of effort and probably take a lot of heat from folks. So, yeah. But Castle, why do you like playing for Immortals? Oh, I think you're muted. You guys keep muting. There we go.
Is it fine?
Yes.
I don't think I can talk about that.
No, you can't. I know you can't talk about
Yeah.
what's happening, but I'm just curious.
What have you enjoyed?
How have
being
you
on Immortals so
enjoyed
far?
playing
Yeah.
for Immortals? Because when I talk to Immortals players, even off camera, they seem to like playing for Immortals. So what do you like about
Yeah.
Immortals?
First of all, this environment, like, and what Step did for us is really good, and they just try to make us confidence. Like even at first, like people start the spring split, I was like really bad at English, so like, hard to like communicate with them. But they just keep trying, like keep teaching me, even they're not like English teacher or something. So yeah, I do love this team.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that's part of the reason I see some people in chat saying, oh, maybe we shouldn't talk about this with Castle on. But I like the fact that Castle is here to talk about how he has enjoyed playing for Immortals, because I think oftentimes it's easy because maybe we make a joke about Immortals on the show. We don't have anybody to talk about it. So now we have somebody who can actually say, like, hey, they've really enjoyed it. And that's one thing I've heard, is that a lot of players throughout the years have enjoyed working with some of the staff over there. So I really appreciate it.
I mean, it speaks to like when they keep people around. Like I know some of the core's been around for a while, and like even have people like Joey, who was a player for them for a long time, now coaching. Like it does speak when you have some similar faces around, and then you hear quite commonly that people do enjoy playing there. So that is good.
Yeah. Thank you though, Castle, for sharing your perspective. And Sharpie, I know you're a huge Immortals fan. Anything else that you would like to add to the Immortals? Look, I know Mark at least listens to the show sometimes, and I believe he gets to be the sole decider of what happens. I'm just going to keep saying that to put pressure on him. But anything that you would think Mark should know? What's the case that you're going to make for Immortals to stick around?
I have two cases to make to Mark.
Sure.
First of all, Mark, I ran into you in the elevator at LCS, and I told you to join the LCS Discord, and you looked me square in the face and said no. Keep your promise, Mark. We've been waiting on you for a split and a half. Second thing, Immortals, I think, are really fun to watch. It's a really great community that they have on the LCS Discord. I really, in the IMT Discord, great people in there, great booth, great content. And they have the best jerseys in the LCS, not lying. So keep them around. I love the players. I love the staff. And I've enjoyed rooting for them for quite a few years now. And I would be heartbroken to have to pick another team yet again.
Was this the parking garage elevator?
Yes, up from the parking garage elevator up to the.
I would have been very confused if you met him in the other elevator at LCS, because it goes to like a secret area. So I would have been very confused.
It goes to the Travis suite, you know.
It actually, it kind of does. Funny story.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks, Sharpie. Anything you want to shout out here at the end besides Immortals?
I want to shout out. Let's shout out Blue Otter League. I've had the privilege for shoutcasting for their amateur leagues, and congratulations on making it to NACL. And just want to shout out. Let's shout out Mark Z for keeping his word and joining the LCS Discord.
You know what? Hey, sorry, 1 second, Sharpie. Care pointed out something that I missed here in the conversation. You did say that IMT is the most invested fan org. Do you want to elaborate on that really quickly? Because I realized that was one thing we glossed over.
When did I say the most invested fan org?
I think at the beginning.
I said they have the best booth at FanFest.
Okay, all right.
Just because of Boba trucks. I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Boba's pretty good.
The Boba is pretty good. Yeah. I do like some of the others.
They had like the cards that you could get signed. I have the whole collection.
Those were cool. I like when what team's been doing with that, where you get like Polaroids or stuff.
I have a Castle card somewhere around here. You know what I'm talking about? Ooh, Castle, the little cards. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. I was given 2 of them from. I think I played the game at the booth, and somewhere around here I have them. They come in little envelopes, and you can pull them out, and I think they're supposed to emulate K-pop cards or whatever, photo cards, which I only learned about recently, but yeah, that's kind of cool. So all right, Sharpie.
And I've got an IMT escape keycap, which is pretty cool. So I've gotten some cool stuff from there.
Well, hopefully they're not escaping. All right, Sharpie, thanks so much for the call, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, thank you. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah. All right. Think we're-
Castle and Berserker. Are you guys fans of boba? Do we like boba tea in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do agree with the IMT boba things. Yeah.
What about you, Berserker?
Oh, Berserker's muted again. What keeps happening, Berserker?
Hello.
You need to ask
Not sure.
David to come get you a different headset or something.
Can you? No.
You're cutting it out, but yes. Sorry, I think we hear you.
Hello.
There you go. Now you're good.
I don't really like boba. I prefer coffee.
Coffee.
Nice.
So I never tried like IMT boba draw. Maybe I should try.
Yeah, you should try IMT
Okay.
boba. You'll
Yeah.
really like it. Though don't drink it before an IMT match, just to be safe. All right. You don't know what they'll put in those boba pearls. All right. I think we are good to grab the next caller. If you want to go grab one, Cubby. Thank you.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you to Dwayne Palace for 10 months. Jordan for 69 months. Nice. And then Cheval for the resub. Over on YouTube, thank you to Jeremy for the $20 super chat who said F Twitch. He's saying that because he thinks that Twitch can't keep up with him in terms of super chats and subs. And so I guess that's just what he's going to say to all of you Twitchers. And then Stinky with the $1 super chat as well. I do want to mention something, which is if you are a Twitch sub, on, let's see, July 11th, so in 10 days from now, they are increasing sub and gift prices on web in over 30 regions, so New Zealand, the US, and multiple countries in Europe. If you plan on subscribing to me for a while, I would suggest you do the system where you pre-sub in advance for multiple months so that you can save money. Obviously that benefits me, but I'm also just trying to help all of you save some money because it will, if you sub at the higher number later on, I will just get the rev share more money back to me. So that's kind of beneficial for me. But I do feel bad and kind of wish that this, even if it is better for me, I wish that sub prices weren't going up. So if you are a sub, feel free to save some money by subbing multiple months in advance and saving on that. That's just a pro tip for all of you if you would like. So, Jorbin Live, thank you for the Prime. All right, we got another caller here, and that caller is Massey. Massey, where are you calling from?
Hello, calling from Australia.
Australia. What do you want to talk about on the show?
I just want to talk about how the double ADC / lane swap / 3-minute full clear jungle meta is like so sleeper to watch. And I guess a big part of the take is that all three of these things are happening at the same time. So this is me like groveling for Mark Z to get Freak to do something about it at the pro level.
What would you like him to do about it?
Well,
Knock on Freak's door. I don't know.
yeah, can't we send him a DM or something? No, I think well, like this is jumping a bit far ahead, but I feel like the two biggest ways to like shake it up is like looking at it from a macro level is either like delay times between patches to allow like pro players to, I guess, develop counters to the meta, or you just like completely give up on trying to make the game perfectly balanced and you just have like these psycho patches every 2 weeks where just like new champs are being like buffed. You know, Cassante's just getting Omega nerfed this week. We'll see how he goes in a few weeks' time.
And you would like Mark to change the buffs and nerfs of this stuff, and I guess he could change the patch. You could go off live patch. It sounds like.
I wouldn't trust Mark to do the numbers, but maybe like give Freak some Red Bull and lock him in a room for 24 hours and see what he comes up with.
Oh no,
Cubby, for the non-meta heads, do you want to break down what this is in reference to?
So right now, like there were a lot of changes made to items from what we saw in Spring Split to the big mid-season patch that is now hitting in summer. A lot of the item changes meant that crit ADs have more options in terms of what they build early on, and AP items like also got buffed up a little bit, and including like the one that everyone is kind of talking about is Echoes, because they already nerfed it for how it impacts jungle camps, but AP junglers were really struggling to find their way into the meta for a long time, and this is the item where they're kind of shoehorning him in. So you get a lot of power in terms of clearing your camps early. and they made AP junglers a lot more viable because, I mean, you can finish your Zyra Karthus clear in like 3 minutes and change, right? I think the best Zyra clear I've seen is pretty much like 2:59 if we're gonna full clear. So a lot of the meta right now is, I think that what's dominating the meta is like these Zyra, Corki, Ezreal, and like just 2 frontliner comps, because it's just impossible to get to like a Corki Ezreal if you have stuff like Zyra, Leona, Renekton, Cassante in front of it. And that's kind of what's ruining the meta. I think that the most interesting part about this caller is, like, personally, when it comes to how I view jungle in this game, I think that jungle as a role is boring when you're able to get everything you want in the time you want. I think that jungle, the most interesting part about jungle is thinking about when and where you drop camps or skip camps or show on lanes to find advantages. And at the moment, the most dominant AP junglers, you just get all your camps, and then you can still be at fights first if you are playing something like Zyra, which is I think the true issue of the meta. So I find it interesting that this caller was frustrated about not enjoying this, because it is a big swap from Spring, which I feel like there is a novelty to it. But I also am in alignment that I think the jungle meta is kind of back to where it was when it was the Hecarim, Udyr, Volibear triangle, where everyone was able to full clear at like 310, 315, and then you're just on map. It's just with AP champs now.
Yeah. Can I jump in real quick, Cubby?
Yeah.
Because I'm a big C9 fan, and I watched the C9 Shopify game, and like the most interesting thing that happened in that game 1 was that like Blabber got an extra plant that spawned on red buff on his first clear, and then everything else was just so sleeper. Like, I'm watching PvE gameplay. Like, I've waited all week to watch Cloud9 play, and it was like they're knocking on the, like, breaking down the base, and the score is like 1-4 in kills, 10k gold lead. Nothing's happening.
I appreciate how you're blaming the patch and not Shopify for that one, but, you know, we're going to continue. I am interested. Castle, things are very different this season in terms of the meta and the champs being played. What do you think, especially about the caller sentiment about these AP junglers clearing very fast?
I think like 3 patches ago, they lie above the camp XP. Like, I think that's the critical point, because if now like if jungler try like one gank and lose one camp like that, then it's too risky now. Like, if our jungle just AP jungle clear fast and just clear again, then it takes like 3 minutes for one clear, and just if you try like one gank and lose one camp, is too critical now. It's gonna be like 1 level gap. Yeah, it's too hard now.
Berserker, with all the like AP junglers and AD mids, it has mixed things up a little bit for your pool. I feel like there are more champs viable bot lane in terms of supporting. What are your feelings on the meta so far this split?
Oh, muted.
Muted again, yeah.
Not yet. There we go. Now we can hear you.
Hello. I agree that the Riot buff like 3 weeks ago, like XP buff, like camp, so that like just farming jungler like tier is going high, and then I agree that like Jaira is like kinda like unskilled champion. He's just like farming, and then he just go like bottom 3 minutes, and then just like make annoying them, and then get prio, and then get crab, and then just base. It's like so unskilled, but they are like they have like weakness points. Maybe Jaira is like just fast, like clearly so fast. So the only Jaira weakness point is like just level 1 embed in him, and then just like, make sure he can't get like plan or something. But like if you play like another AP jungle like Kasos or like Lilia brand, if you don't have prio like just line, then Inami jungler always like can like invade them. You know what I'm saying? So that like, and then like if you just like back one time, then their like farming time is getting slow, right? That means like they're gonna be so useless in game. So like if if you watch like LHK, they're like without Genji, they will not pick for like AP jungle style, right? So like if you have like strong liner in team, then they can make sure like defend you like during your farm, right? So that like I think that just like depends on team style. I feel like.
Do you agree with that, Castle?
Yeah, and also that's the strength of the AD mid champion, Corki or Tristana. Corki or Tristana is kinda easy to get prio, so it helps to like AP jungle palms.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Corki champion hits like a truck the first few levels, man. He throws autos at your face with E, and it hurts.
Yeah, that's why they try Azure mid or Lucian mid or something.
Yeah. We have seen a couple like new answers come out. I don't know. For me, I think that again, like the champs being swapped up, it has added a bit of a interesting twist in the new season. But I'm 100% aligned with the caller. Like again, I think that jungle for me is a really interesting role in League when you have to make choices about what you're going to take and what you're not going to take. And right now, there are no choices to be made because of how fast you can clear. So I hope that Riot makes changes to kind of like fix that. I think that there's like, yeah, I have been a little bit bored.
Yeah, Castle and Berserker, do you find it boring?
I mean, it's pretty boring for me because like when we can dive them, my jungle is just still full clearing, you know. So like, it's pretty boring. But we won like through week play with like AP jungle, so
yeah.
I mean, I hate it, but I also like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
For top, I feel like we are dog for jungle now. Make jungle farm and just put ward on enemy jungle. That's it. That's our job now. We have nothing to do more. And sometimes just let us get the Grubbies.
I was about to say you at least get to fight Grubs. Berserker's really chilling, man. He's like if he's playing Senna, you know, then you gotta come fight Grubs with the Senna. But if not, sometimes you're just truly AFK.
Yeah, but unless like we play both like Ash Kalista, so we should like go, you know, just like run away. Yeah. I'm pretty chilling.
Berserker had that one Ezreal ult.
Yeah.
In that game, I think it's the only thing I remember.
I mean, I just killed Jazarf like I used my word, and the game is like already over at this point. You know? I mean, I just didn't do anything. I just like farming and get some prio, and the game's like already over, you know. So, I mean, after game, like, what is happening? I didn't do anything, but we still won. So, yeah.
It sounds like both. It sounds like both of you would like to see changes. Castle's nodding his head.
Yeah.
One other question on top of this. I've been talking with a couple teams, and they feel like first Grubs, like if you secure first Grubs, your game gets a lot easier. Do you also think that like first Grubs are a little bit overtuned right now compared to Drake?
Yeah. If we get first Grubs, like 3 Grubs, then next Grubs we have like 2 choices: contest 6 Grubs or get benefit on bot. So, and they always try to contest 6 Grubs because 6 Grubs value is too high now. So yeah, it's really good benefit. If we can get 6 Grubs, 3 Grubs only. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thanks, caller. Anything else that you want to add?
I just think this meta sucks, especially during the talk your split narrative that we're trying to run. It's like so sleeper. You have so much split talking going on. You have the king of split talking, APA, going up against Insanity, and I'm just watching them both stand still on Corki, Tristana, and auto attack each other to death.
True.
I can't do another game.
But I mean, there was at least blood in that one. They both messed up, and I think APA typed like, "We're both so bad, aren't we?" Which is pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, but they were standing still, which is crazy to me. Like not even moving between autos, just like
we were maximizing Corki E value and minion damage. He still got the kill. Fine.
True.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to dodge some of those autos though.
No. Well, hopefully, if that's the case, then hopefully Berserker plays more Zeri, right? And you can see some auto dodging.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Massey, for the call. Anything you want to shout out here at the end?
Yeah, shout out C9, shout out Kia, shout out Travis Gafford Industries. Crazy that they named you after the industries.
That's
Travis.
true. That's true. It's a family company, actually. Thank you so much for the call, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.
All right. It is time for another break really quickly to talk about NZXT. So NZXT right now has something very cool going on. This week actually a little bit over a week, from today until the 8th of July, they have 4th of July day sales going on. And that's basically these deals where you spend $1,500, you get $100 off. You spend $2,500, you get $150 off. You spend $3,000, you get $200 off. And there's a link that we have now, which is nzxt.co/TG. And we'll put that link into both of the Twitch and YouTube chat right now, and then also on the YouTube description and podcast descriptions for folks that want to take a look at it. Clicking that link is actually really helpful because not only does it show them that, like, hey, you all are taking a look at their products, but it also brings you directly to their explosive site-wide deals page, where you can see all these deals. And guess what? This is something that's really cool because it's not something we've been able to do with a lot of our previous partners. The code, which is Travis5, is going to help you get 5% off on top of these deals. So you can go, get a $1,500 PC, save $100, and get 5% knocked off. So it actually stacks on top of the deal. So Travis5, it's a 5% off site-wide code. You got to take a look at these cool deals that they're doing for Independence Day. It's a great time to pick up a new NZXT machine or product. And again, it's a site-wide deal. So maybe you don't need a completely new PC, but you want to pick up some peripherals, or you want to pick up some upgrades to your current system. Again, you can go do that through NZXT. If you do it through our link, they get to track that and make sure that they know that you were doing that because of, you heard it here on the show, which is really helpful for us. And then again, use that Travis5 code to save 5%. And that is also super cool. So it's just awesome to see them come out and message me and let me know, like, hey, here's the deal. And I think, I'm going to promote it. Okay, but then they won't be able to use it with the code. And boom, they can. So you can. So thanks so much to NZXT for sponsoring the show. Really cool to have them on as a partner. They've got amazing 4th of July sales going on, and that's going for the next week. So go get yourself over there, take a look at their deals, and see if there's something that you're looking for. We love NZXT, and thank you for sponsoring the show. All right, getting into our next batch of callers. Cubby, are we still looking for calls, or how are we doing?
A little bit. I got one more in the waiting room, and we have a few hanging around, and we'll probably take a couple more. But yeah, if anyone has takes, we're still going to grab some. So
yeah, I think we've got probably one or two more callers to go, or one or two more callers that we can still pull. So if this is a night that you're trying to get on, come in, ask a question to Berserker or Castle, or maybe have a game take, a meta take, something like that. Please call in so that we can get you access to these pro players. It's really cool that they're sitting down and chatting with us. So Cubby's off to go grab the next caller. Thank you to Jorbin Live for those 12 months. And shout out to 504 Caesar for the 1999, who says, shout out to Castle and Berserker. I really do appreciate both you all coming on. I'm sure it is. I would never have the confidence to go be on a Korean talk show and speak Korean. So I really appreciate you guys doing that, especially Castle, because Castle, how many months have you been in Los Angeles now?
6 months, I think.
6 months?
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on the show. Icebreaker is here. Icebreaker, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Indianapolis. What do you want to talk about on the show?
So this is a question for both Berserker and Castle. Both of your teams have changed coaching staffs this off season. So I guess to both of you, what has working with your new coach been like? And on the topic of coaching, what do you think can be done, or what do you think is the best way from either a team level or an individual level to help players improve?
Yeah,
that's a good one. Berserker, you want to start?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound good.
Nice.
Yeah.
We changed like from mid div to report, right?
Mhm.
I mean, Report biggest strong is like as a coach, I feel like he's make sure we play like easier, you know. And back then, like we just like keep explaining each other like between game, so that like we just like can't focus like ourselves. So we just like keep making like own mistake or just macro mistake. But now we just like keep trying to focusing like myself, like not as a team. Like so we just like I mean to be honest, like when I first scream, I thought we just like play solo queue. But now we just like individual performance is like getting better, and then we can like trying to do like team stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, Berserker, would you like? How big of a help is it to have a coach that can fluently speak both English and Korean as well this split, especially given Thanatos also being in the camp where he's picking up English in your lineup?
I mean, it's like pretty comfortable me, but
Yeah.
especially for Thanatos, I mean, he's like not good at English now. So like, yeah, I mean, so I mean, I'm fine to like playing with like English coach, but like it's really good for Thanatos, I think. Yeah.
That's cool. How much does he? I mean, obviously he's able to speak Korean, but how does he manage the conversation between, Thanatos and the English speakers and all of that?
I mean, between review, we just like talking with English, so that like, I mean, if you're Korean and then you come like different country, then you shouldn't like, you should like not trying to use like Korean,
Yeah.
Then you can like improve like another language, so that like, also me like I just like don't trying to speak Korean with Thanatos, like unless like we just like eat meal or something. So yeah.
Yeah.
Just like don't try to speak Korean.
But so I think Reaper, I imagine, is mostly helping him only with complex words or explanations in Korean, I would bet. I was saying that I'm guessing Reaper only helps like you. It sounds like you're mostly speaking English between each other, and so
Yeah.
Reaper is able to help if there's something he doesn't understand. He can explain it in Korean.
Yeah, of course. Like if it's like really important, then he just speak Korean. But it's like not that important, then we just like don't say anything to Thanatos. Then like Thanatos can ask to us on English. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely understand how that could be super helpful, and it makes a lot of sense, and it does explain a little bit on why Jack felt so comfortable bringing Reaper back into the fold and back to Cloud9. Castle, what has it been like working for you with a new coach?
The biggest difference, like our biggest review point now, is the communication. So even we choose like not the best opinion, like just slightly better opinion, but we can just try to make it like works. So we just focusing on communication wise. So for example, I can say like just look gang top like or something, but
Yeah.
now we're like more detail and like what he gonna do and how he gonna do. That's the point now.
Gotcha. And is that because of Anero coming in as a coach, or is that mostly the language situation has gotten better? What allows you to have this increased communication in game?
But Inero's biggest point was that
Yeah.
Inero's just focusing on our communication, and also me and Mask I think we are good enough to English, but sometimes we don't know. But we have OLS, so sometimes we just call the Jusong Kim translator.
Yeah.
So he just translate for us, because OLS English is kind of same as local player.
Yeah. How good is Anero's Korean?
No way.
Does he know any words in? Does he know any words in Korean?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But sometimes John, the Armao understand our Korean.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know why. But yeah, but
Are
sometimes he
Mao's learning
understand.
your Korean?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
I don't know why. But
Yeah. Does Anero ever swear in Korean? Has he learned at least Korean swear words?
I don't think so.
Oh, you don't think so? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes the
No, those are
coaching
usually-
staff and people will learn Korean a little bit along the way, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I saw he tried to translate while we were talking in Korean.
Oh, yeah?
Use his phone and just try to listen. So you use the translator and translate, like try to like join conversation.
Yeah. Oh, he
While
was
we were
trying to
talking,
join the
yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
He wasn't
we were
like
talking in Korean.
eavesdropping. He
Yeah,
wasn't hiding in a corner with over his
Yeah,
phone
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to figure out
exactly,
what's
That's
All right.
funny.
Yeah. I want content all just about Anero trying to coach. I think that's the content that I need. That's kind of fun. Cool. Well, so it sounds like okay, here's a great question, Castle. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Anero as a coach?
1 to 10.
Yes.
On the spot.
Like overall, like 7. But for our team, it can be 10. Yeah.
Okay. I was really hoping you'd say overall 7 for our team 4. That
I think he's best coach for our team.
best coach for your team. Okay.
Yeah.
Berserker,
Is it just
or go ahead.
like how he works with you guys, Castle, or like yeah?
Personality or like everything.
yeah.
How he like give feedback or like how he make the review atmosphere.
Yeah.
Everything is good for us, I think.
How does he compare to Korean coaches that you've played with in the past?
Hard to explain about Korean coach, but he's pretty calm.
Yeah.
The inner is pretty calm and just talking about some point, but not like mad or something. Just keep calm.
Yeah. Reaper, Berserker, is Reaper calm as a coach?
For us, it's 9 or 10, I think.
Yeah. He's a
Cause
9
like-
out of 10.
Yeah, cause
Yeah.
like we all have like strong opinion, like all player. So like last spring, like review was like always 30 minute or like 40 minute, you know. So but like now, like report just like I don't know, feel like report review is like kind of smooth, you know.
Yeah.
Like he just like make sure we can understand like clearly, so that like yeah, we just like talk after screen, like small detail, so that like yeah, it's pretty comfortable work with him.
That's cool. Is he calm? Is he patient?
Calm.
Relaxed? As a coach?
I mean,
Because Castle said, I asked Castle, how is
Yeah.
Anero compared to Korean coaches? And
Yeah.
Castle didn't talk about Korean coaches, but was like, Anero is very calm, which makes me maybe think that Korean coaches are not calm. And so I'm curious if Reapered, and obviously he spent a lot of time in the LCS, but I'm curious if Reapered is calm.
I mean, I guess he's calm, but I felt like every I met coaches was calm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Alright.
think it's calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caller, do you have anything else that you would want to ask before I give you shout outs?
Yeah, I did have one kind of fun question. Since top lane and bottom lane are some roles that tend to see kind of staple picks, with the LCS being on live patch, is there any champion you'd like to shout out for buffs that you'd like to play on stage at some point?
Ooh, that's a fun
Ooh.
question.
Castle, what champ would you like to see buff so you could play it on stage?
So I'm thinking. Well, personally, my favorite champion is Gragas, but Gragas got nerfed on this patch. So I just wanna play Gragas more on stage.
What about you, Berserker? Any champ you want to see buff so you can bust it back out on stage?
I mean, I want to play some Aphelios. Like I missed that like 2022 like summer split, just like AD healthcare matter. So yeah.
The Aphelios, Milio, Aphelios, Lulu, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. All right, caller. Thanks so much for the call. Anything else that you'd like to shout out here?
Yeah. First, I want to shout out the members only video that you posted earlier this week. I found it really interesting,
Thank you.
and I hope that you put out more of them.
I did. Did you see? I just posted a thing that was asking for topics for this month.
I did not. I've been very busy with work all day.
Yeah, no worries. If you want to go suggest something, yeah, that was just an idea that I got from. I found out that Jenny Nicholson, who's the YouTuber that did the big video about the Star Wars hotel, I found out. I was like, man, she only posts a video a year, and then I found out that she posts videos exclusively to patrons once a month, which I think is so cool because it stops her from having to worry about like, how do I create like a flashy title that's going to work within the YouTube meta and stuff, and she can just talk passionately about things that she's interested in and that the patrons vote on. And so that was kind of like the inspiration there. So I'm going to start to try to do that because I think it's oftentimes like esport, just a video of me talking about esports business for 40 minutes is not going to do well on YouTube. But if I'm able to make it a YouTube or members only video, it kind of makes it work that way. So it's been pretty cool.
I guess I started following like the pro scene probably like kind of 2020 during COVID.
Yeah.
So I guess my suggestion would be if you've got any like fun stories or like kind of lore from early in the days of the scene that you think every fan should know.
League Esports days. Yeah, I have thought about doing that. I don't know if I need to do that as a members only video though, because I think that stuff would just work well in general. So I've been thinking about
That's
it.
okay too.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for the call though, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. Talk to you later.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good one. All right. We've got a couple more callers to go.
Yeah. We got a
Cubby's up to grab
couple
'em.
potentially quick ones, but also some interesting ones. So
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's dive in.
Thank you, Mr. Sly Guy, for the Prime, and Be Gentle Baka for the Prime. Great names. We've got more callers coming up here. We're joined right now by Castle and Berserker. Really great to have them both on. Berserker, a huge Star Wars fan, as you can tell from all the Star Wars stuff in his back room. He's a huge Star Wars fan, as he said earlier in the show. Berserker, do you play the piano or the keyboard?
Me?
Or sorry, Castle, do you play the piano or the keyboard?
Actually, not mine.
It's not yours?
It was Mouse bought the new piano, so
Yeah.
I just yoinked it, but I didn't try.
Okay. I love that things in the background are both not yours. Like the Star Wars stuff in the background and the keyboard stuff are completely unrelated to you guys. All right. We've got our next caller here. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Mesrix, calling from Vermont in Victoria, in Australia.
In Australia. Another Australian
Yes.
caller. That's hype. What do you want to talk about on the show tonight?
So the topic I was called for, the hot take I was called for, is something of a counterpoint to a previous caller. And that is that I think that AP junglers actually make the game more interesting and volatile as a whole. And it's where LCS viewers are seeing them as more boring because LCS teams are worse at capitalizing on AP junglers' weaknesses due to perhaps lack of experience.
What weaknesses would you be referring to?
So
Like
obviously,
any specifics in mind?
AP junglers, in comparison to what we normally have, they're squishier. They're a lot more reliant on economy. They're generally not able to face check bushes very well. Their control of mid game is predicated on vision control. Things like that. Those are the primary weaknesses that I can come up with off the top of my head as to what the main weaknesses of AP junglers are. And I think we can see this bear out in the data because if we look at game time statistics for this split as opposed to last split, the game time in all of the major leagues has gone down by 2 to 3 minutes on average. And I think the largest change contributing to that is the more volatile nature of AP junglers.
All right.
Okay.
So
I think there's just more damage in the game. I mean, obviously AP junglers brings that, but I do like want to chip in that I feel like there's more damage in the game right now, which is kind of contributing to faster end times. That and Grubs would be buffed a little bit in terms of what they give. So yeah, but I feel like that's a part of it.
Cubby, do you think it's true? Are AP junglers more interesting for the game, but we just have shitty junglers in the LCS, and that's why they're not good at it?
I think that like when you have them as an option, it's always going to be more interesting, right? But the issue is that right now they feel like they're more of a default than an option, and that's kind of what fans are struggling with. And it is piloted well, it does kill off a lot of the volatility, because if you are able to make it through your first 2 clears unscathed, then your game gets like a lot easier / pretty good from there with a lot of these junglers that are meta. So I think that like in a way, I appreciated like what Berserker was saying with trying to stop Zyra level 1, because it really feels like, I mean, that's a champ where if you don't stop Zyra level 1, like when do you stop Zyra if you aren't trying to deny a quadrant or stall her clear? And I think that's an issue that some people are having, because once these champs take off, they take off, and they're really hard to beat. And they can pretty much play on their side of the map. And I appreciate what the caller is saying with like they are relying on economy and damage. But again, like to the point that was made earlier, if you're going to skip out on one of your own camps to go try and kill an AP jungler, you are already going to be behind camps, and you're sacrificing more on this patch compared to the patch like that they were playing in spring. So I still think that like they need to be an option, but I think right now they're too dominant, which is kind of where I fall.
Speak to that.
Yeah.
I think you're correct in that in the LCS they're more dominant than they are an option. But if you look at the LPL, for example, where AP junglers are less successful, we can see that what that league is doing is they're using last pick to get like a really strong dueling or really strong early game, either support or top laner, and they're using that really strong early game power to go into the enemy jungle, to go and mess with the enemy jungler. And we're also seeing non-traditional or perhaps more duel-oriented junglers, such as Wukong, such as Xin Zhao, more in that league, which we're not seeing in the LCK. And those junglers are perhaps better suited to taking advantage of the weaknesses of AP junglers. So just to reiterate, I think you're correct that they are a default in the LCS currently, but that's due to the LCS's lack of experience. And if we had better tools and more experience in countering AP junglers, they would be more of an option and less dominant.
Castle, do you understand what the caller is saying here?
Not exactly, but kinda, yes.
Yeah. Basically, the idea is LCS does not know or does not adapt well enough to the jungle meta, so we have to use AP junglers compared to regions like LPL, where it is they are able to try different things. And so we all think, fans think of the LCS, oh, AP junglers are boring, but that's because our junglers are not as good as other regions, and so that is why this goes down this way. Am I saying that right, caller?
I would say our junglers are good. They're perhaps a bit inexperienced with the AP jungler meta.
I mean, you're at the beginning you were like, oh yeah, we're just not as. I think you were saying they're not good. I feel like you're now trying to be nice about it.
Oh, I love Blabber. He's my good.
Yeah.
But maybe the teams are less experienced.
The teams are less experienced. Okay.
LCS is shit. We're just we play less games on stage.
Less experience.
It's just how it is.
Okay.
To be somewhat fair, it does warp the whole game, like AP junglers, right? So.
Yeah. So Castle, what do you think of this? Is LCS behind in jungle? Are we stuck on AP junglers?
I think it's kind of just different style. Like, I do think the HS junglers like to farm or like getting resource, but sometimes the other legion, like especially like APR or HK, they just try to like fight or make plan around like strong lane. But HS jungler usually just like farm and they're just happy with farm.
They're just happy with farm. Is that true,
Yeah.
Berserker? Are jugglers just happy to farm?
I mean, I don't think so, to be honest. I mean, except like Blabber and Inspire. They're kind of missed full clear, to be honest. But like, except Blabber and Inspire, whole like 6 jungler, I feel like kind of missed their gang. You know, they just like doesn't like farm. I feel like even it's like not good gang anger, they just like go and then they just like lose camp and then their game is like kind of messed up. You know, when
Yeah.
I see them, so they try. Maybe they doesn't prefer like AP jungler. You know.
I do want to add as well to the caller talking about the LPL specifically. With the summer placements, there was a fearless aspect as well, which does force a few more picks. We have a more aggressive form of fearless draft in Challengers League, and so you are kind of forced where some of those AP junglers are no longer an option, or you have to take 80 in the AP. And there are some successful matchups. I think that part of why we are seeing that more though is also fearless. Like there are more options to play. AP junglers right now are the top tier. There are more options below that top tier in terms of like what you're going to answer with AD wise. So I think that we are seeing like some more drafts and variations because of the format as well in LPL. Not to mention like the style they play. I mean, it's kind of built to counter AP junglers. And like I know that like Kindred, for example, I think is really, really good in fearless format because like if you take a few champs out of the game, like if you can't pick Azir, Gragas, or stuff that can interact with Lamb's Respite, Kindred becomes really strong if you get a good jungle matchup. So we have seen some champs that also emerge in fearless formats that are more dominant later on. Like Viego reset comps are a default for some teams, like to pick later on in fearless when some champs are just off the board, or like Triss Maokai comps. You can like easily piece stuff around it. I think that that's also kind of helping. Like at least I want to add that as context, like what the caller's talking about, especially like with that region specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, that's a pretty quick call, but I appreciate you calling in. Anything you want to shout out?
Yeah.
I've been meaning to shout this out since I think Emily and Raz came onto the LCS, but shout out to whoever does the wardrobes. Those two are always looking fly every week.
Yo,
they
the
look
wardrobe team. I mean, I'm not there, but like Rafa is my roommate. Usually has his own, but he even had a new shirt from the wardrobe team that like they just made like got and made for him. So yeah, that's actually a really cool shout out. They work really hard back there.
They're always doing a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, and we will catch you next time. All right. We're going to take one final break here before we get into our last calls, and I want to shout out our sponsor, Prize Picks. So Prize Picks came on board last week. They are on board for the entirety of the LCS Summer Split, and it's America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. You can get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. And with Prize Picks, you could turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. You can make a Prize Picks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or less on 2 to 6 players' stats projections, and you're locked in. So I know some people might be a little confused about that, and I do think some folks here maybe had sort of a misunderstanding last week as we talked about this on how it works. So I'm going to give you all an example of a lineup that you could have had last week, or some picks that you could have made. So, for instance, you could have chosen. You could have said, I think in the FlyQuest match, there was the option to say more or less on Quad getting 9 kills in the first 1 to 2 maps. And if you were really excited about, FlyQuest, and you felt like, or you were really excited about Dignitas, and you thought, hey, Dignitas is actually going to be really competitive with Fly, maybe you would consider, Quad is not going to get 9 or more kills. So you choose less. And then you can choose another player from another league, or you could choose another player from another sport. And you could say, for instance, I think Jankos and Yike are going to get less than 5 kills on map 1, on the first map or the first game as a combo. And if you got both of those right, and you put, I don't know, $5 on it, as a pick, you would be able to get 15 back because you would have predicted correctly that Quad got less than 9 kills and Jankos and Yank got less than 5. So that's an example. I do also want to give a shout out to the fact that they do these kind of little promo picks sometimes, where, for instance, you could have paired Quad with Alex Pereira, who is an MMA athlete, to my understanding. They had like kind of a bit of a little promo they were running where as long as Alex Pereira got more than one significant strike, or actually more than half a significant strike. So the moment they landed a significant strike, that pick wins. And so you could have paired Quad and Alex Pereira. You know that Alex Pereira is going to get at least one strike, and maybe you get less than 9 kills with Quad, and so then that ends up paying out that lineup, that 2-pick lineup. So that's just kind of an example of how this works. There's no LCS to pick this week. Cubby, are you still committed to the hot dog eating contest, which is available on Prize Picks?
I'm filling stuff out right now for it. They actually have a deal where someone only has to eat one hot dog for that player to count. So
Jeffrey Esper.
Yeah, you can run that. And I was looking into the weather, as weather actually has an impact of how many hot dogs you can consume. The record for hot dogs usually hits if it's above 90 degrees. So, with that in mind, it's going to be 82 in Coney Island. That's about average. But as a true American on 4th of July, I have to pick more. They have to beat their hot dog. I can't say less on the 4th of July. That's not American.
So who do you have a individual that you are picking more on, or are you still scoping it out and trying to decide?
I've got James Webb and Nick Wary, who, to be fair, are about 20 hot dogs below where Joey Chestnut would be, but still they're going to be the ones competing. And I'm hoping that they get over 46.5 and 44.5, hopefully each.
Right, there we go. Okay, so there's your picks, your official Cubby hot dog eating contest picks for this week. By the way, everyone, if you do sign up for Prize Picks, if it is available in your area, please use the link that is in the description, or that we're putting into Twitch and YouTube chat right now, or the podcast description. If you don't use the link, please sign up with code Travis. It will allow you to match up to the first $100 of deposit. So you could put 25 in, for instance, and they'll give you 25 promo credit. And when you do that, people sometimes ask me, what's the best way to support you, Travis? If it is available in your area, I can officially tell you the best way to support me is to sign up for Prize Picks and make your initial deposit, because they're quite generous with me for whenever people do that. So only do it, obviously, if you can do that responsibly and if you're in a position to be able to do that. But thank you so much to Prize Picks for sponsoring. Thanks everybody who signed up in the past week. We did hear that a lot of you did. So thank you all for checking out Prize Picks, and thank you to sponsoring the show. All right, let's go. We got 2 more callers to go. Oh, we already have a caller here.
Yeah.
Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, I'm Dr. Prof. I'm not going to read my whole name. It's too long.
I do love your full name, though.
I'm calling from Bellevue, Washington. And my take is actually just a question specifically to Castle. Given that you've had a chance of playing against Thanatos back in LCK Challenger, kind of what are your thoughts about him coming over? Were you equally hyped? Did you think the hype was warranted or appropriate? Maybe Berserker thinks he's not actually as good, or maybe agrees with the hype. I don't know. What were your thoughts? I know you lost him, but do you think you're secretly better? I don't know. That's kind of my question to you, Castle.
I think Thanatos was won HKCL a lot, 2 times, I think. 2 times, 3 times on he plus the Challengers team. And I also know he's really good player. He's also a solid player. And I heard sometimes the DK Challengers team plays cream into HK teams. Mm-hmm. They're kind of playing decent, I heard. So I knew he got do well, and I think he's playing well, better than I thought.
Oh.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned the Challengers team that he was on. I remember, Castle, when you were still over there, I think it was 2022, we were sending teams to boot camp in Korea and at Worlds. And I had a couple people from NA like tell me like, wow, like Lucid and that team are actually really good, because they were in your league and they were really competitive. Do you like you playing him then and now? Do you feel like where do you put each of you guys as players then and now, Castle? Like, do you feel like you've each grown and gotten better, and like how so? Do you feel like you're closer to him now, or in terms of like competing, or is he someone that you look forward to competing against in the LCS?
But I think like he's not like prime, but like when I play like best, like prime, but now I don't play like the best overall. Like just worse than my best now. So it's hard to say, but Thanatos just played decent now. He's just playing well, but I don't think I'm like playing well, like playing good enough. So hard to say. And also I lost to him.
This is really interesting, Kessel. Are you saying you feel like you and Thanatos are not playing at your prime right now?
I don't know about Thanatos, but I do think I'm not playing like prime time. Yeah.
Why do you think that you are worse than you have been in the past?
It's kind of hard to explain. Just some things, just I don't know. Just it happens. It happens, but yeah. So I'm just trying to find what I did on my prime time. So make to follow the routine or something, like or practice.
Yeah.
I
I
understand.
don't know exactly why.
What were you saying, Berserker?
I understand that. I also had like hard time like last place, so yeah.
Yeah. What do you think it was for you, Berserker?
I'm not sure. I still can't find, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like I just do same, like just eat same, just like play same, or like, you know, if I go stage, I can't like performance like before. So yeah, I mean maybe just like keep playing is right answer, and then you know.
So
Yeah.
I kind of have a question, actually, a follow up, if that's okay about that.
Yeah, go for it.
Like, a lot of people, like, this is kind of a trend that tends to happen, is a lot of people come over from Korea and they suddenly drop. And Berserker, you have been someone who's maybe not been like subject to that same trajectory. You've kind of maintained a similar level. But do you think there's something about the NA like scene in general that kind of the LCK or LCK challengers like that kind of drops their level? I mean, we always attribute it to solo queue, and maybe just less competitive. But I'm curious if you guys personally feel that, and that's maybe why you guys aren't at your peak, quote unquote, or like it's just that's just how it is right now.
I mean, LCS like compared to LCK here, I feel like lining pace is like pretty same if you play both like, you know, like under team. But like it's pretty different after like lining phase. Like macro is like LCS is pretty better than LCK here, I feel like. Also like if you go like high level team in LCS, then it's completely different in LCK, like compared to LCK here. So, but I do agree that like LCK here player can get like opportunity for like LCS, because like LCK have like a lot of good player, right? So it's like hard to get opportunity. But like if you go LCS, then if you can get like LCS opportunity, then you go there and then you just like prove like your lining, and then you learn like macro from like LCS. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think yeah.
It's just it's a region gap, I guess. You know, it's not gonna be as easy for you to maintain that skill. But no, I mean it sounds like it's not as dramatic, Berserker, as some people say. So that's good. I do want to get back to the caller's original question, which was about Thanatos. Berserker, what has it been like for you playing with Thanatos?
To be honest, I thought pretty bad player beginning the season. Cause like, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's like really good player now. But like beginning the season, like his like sideline was like pretty bad, in my opinion, and then lining was just like decent. But like he just like keep trying to improve. Like he just like play solo queue like 16 game per day, and then he just like keep talking with Reaper, and then I feel like he kinda getting way better. Maybe he like rest like a lot of time. So
Yeah.
like yeah, I knew that like he needed time, but I didn't expect like he getting better like this faster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm proud of him.
And that's basically only been like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy that he was able to go from somebody who you thought was not great, and that he just like played 60 hours, and, you know, talked to Reaper, became pretty good from what it sounds like. So that's really cool to hear. All right. Thanks so much, caller, for calling in. Hopefully the Thanatos questions feel answered. I think they did a pretty good job of chatting through that. Anything you want to add here at the end, or anything you want to shout out?
I'll just shout out to your sponsors. I know I don't need to tell them this, but the brand recognition stuff works. Even, like, I know they weren't a sponsor to you, but I literally went and bought a product of Tidy Cat stuff just because it was mentioned on your stream multiple times. So this type of stuff actually works.
Cubby, do you know the old Tidy Cats lore? Before we had our first sponsor,
No.
there was
Travis
a
community's
meme
wild,
episode where Kelby and us came up with the idea of pitching Tidy Cats, and then we pretended that they were our sponsor the whole day, and so that's why you'll still see Tidy Cats memes in the chat. It's like ancient Hotline League lore from like the first couple months of the show, so it's kind of fun.
Man, even I was too young for that.
Oh, don't
back
say
then.
that, please. I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I was going to shout out also Cubby's stream. It's very educational. I've learned a lot just by chatting with him, so check it out as well. So
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wish
Thanks.
I could recommend
Appreciate
it,
that.
but he just said I was old, so I would disagree with that. Anyway, thanks so much for the call, and we'll catch you next time.
thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
We've got one more caller, and then Castle and Berserker are free. I appreciate
Yeah,
both of them
it-
coming on.
it's a wholesome one too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
here we
Cool.
go.
Off Cubby goes to grab them. Thank you, Purpose, for the Prime. Super appreciate it. And then Purpose also for becoming a member over on YouTube. Hitting both streams. That's really cool. And then 504 Caesar, thanks for the $5 super chat. We've got one last caller here. They are here. It's Phantom. Phantom, where are you calling from?
Hello, I am calling from Kanagawa, Japan.
Kamigawa, Japan. That is sick. What do you want to talk about on the show?
So my question is for both Berserker and Castle. My question is sort of a selfish one, honestly, but I wanted to ask, what advice would you give to someone living in a foreign country, learning the language and learning how to communicate? Because I've been living in Japan for over a year now, and while my understanding of the language has grown immensely, my communication skills still need a lot of improvement. So yeah, I was curious.
I do think your like environment and my environment is like kind of different, you know. I just like sitting on desk and then with like 5 player, we just like playing game like entire day, right? So like it's pretty different because like I can always talk with my like players, like my team, and then I can ask like easily. But like if you go alone to like Japan, then I mean, it's gonna be pretty tough, I think. And then like, I do recommend just like keep watching Japan drama or like, you know, just like anime or like watch, and then just like, yeah, learning, and then you should like try at outside, just like go out and then just like ask random people like what is this, you know. Yeah, I recommend that.
But Berserker, was there anything that you watched in English that you enjoyed while you were trying to pick up the language yourself?
My first time movie was like, you know, Super Mario, like some movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
the Super
the
Mario
Super
movie?
Mario movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched it there like with like sub, and
that
I
was
was
a,
really
that was a
enjoyed
good
that.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Castle, you're new to living in LA. We were talking just 6 months. What advice would you have for somebody living in a different country, trying to learn language and that type of thing?
But I'm not sure. But as a player, so we don't need to run like that much. We just need to just know about just some terms like for example like plank or like marking like something. So kind of hard to explain, but I run English with AI.
With AI?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I
That's
just
good for a
watched the first. I just watched the educational, like English educational YouTube channel or drama, and to check it like write on notebooks. So something I don't know about that. So and add to AI, they actually teach well. I'm pretty sure.
What? So AI you're saying is teaching you?
Yeah.
Is it like
And
an
also there-
app or what is it?
There's also app and just website.
Okay.
The one app can do like FaceTime, like same as FaceTime, just can say just in the different language to them, and they just try to teach us.
Okay. So they'll correct you if you say it wrong.
Yeah,
That's crazy. I didn't even know that
Yeah.
that was a thing.
yeah, that was crazy.
What is it called? Do you know?
Just I don't remember, but any AI website like ChatGPT or something
Yeah.
can try to run from there.
Okay.
I
ChatGPT
Actually,
will
like,
teach you.
them. Yeah, this we can teach them first and make him be a like language teacher.
Okay.
Then we can just use it.
That's
Interesting.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting to hear that answer. That's really cool though. Yeah, wow. I
What
guess the
made you
world of AI.
decide to do that?
Just that time just saw some like video on YouTube. They just using AI for learning English
Yeah.
or learning any other language. And I just tried and actually it feels really good.
That's crazy. Wow. I hadn't even thought of using it for that, and so it's really cool to hear you say that. That's fun. And I know Berserker and Castle, both of you were like, well, we're just pro players, so we don't need to learn that much English. We just need to know how to talk to our teammates. But I will say that I feel like you both have done a great job.
Yes.
Because you could come on a talk show for 2 hours and have a conversation with us. And so I know we're still talking League of Legends, so maybe it's a little still similar to, your team environment. But I think it is really cool because, a lot of fans really feel connected with you all whenever you try to do this type of thing. So I do really appreciate it. Phantom, is that? Do you have any follow-up questions or anything that you would ask?
I don't think so. I think this was really helpful. For me, I think I'm just really, I don't want to say proud, but I'm really happy that both Berserker and Castle joined the show because, your English has improved immensely. And it's just great to hear from you guys. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the call. And anything you want to shout out here at the end?
I'd just like to shout out my family and my friends. Right now, I'm a little alone, but I got to talk with my family this last week, so that was really nice.
Nice.
Oh, good. That's nice.
Well, good on you for being so bold as to move to another country, because I think I would really struggle with it, and I'm sure it is tough, but, I think a lot of people will never at least give it a try, and so it's awesome to see that you're doing that. So thanks so much for the call.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Have a good one. All right. That is the show. We're going to do quick shout-outs here at the end. Cubby, what do you want to plug? What do you got going on? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I've got my VOD reviews all wrapped up for LCS games this week, and I'll do NACL throughout the week. So I'm Cubby XX on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter if you guys want to stay tuned to that and more. And shout out to Castle and Berserker for coming out and doing this show. Like that last caller, at one point in my life, I also had an opportunity to go move to another country and another culture across the pond, and I decided to not do that and stay in my home country and the culture that I'm familiar with. So I think it's a really, brave decision to go somewhere else and get that life experience. And I give you both a ton of props for doing so as people, and then also what you guys have put forward professionally as players as well. So, I wish you guys both the best of luck through the rest of the split, and hope C9 can continue to be top 3, and hope IMT can maybe crack playoffs and start scaring teams at the top 2 as time moves on. So thanks again for coming on, both of you. You guys did a great job today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Berserker, what do you want to shout out?
I mean, first of all, thank you for inviting me, even though I'm not good at enough English. So thank you so much.
You were great.
You were great,
then,
man. Yeah.
I shout out Jack, the C9 CEO. And then I love C9 and I love Kia and Red Bull. Thank you.
Kia and Red Bull, fantastic.
Yeah.
Castle, anything you want to shout out or anything you want to play?
Yeah. Also, thank you for having me. And also, I heard C9 asked me to join this talk show. I heard, so thank you about that. And also, I think our YouTube content, the IMT YouTube content, is really good. So you guys should watch about that. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Go watch the IMT YouTube content. That's super cool. Yeah, and what Castle's referring to is it was. I do want to shout out David from Cloud9 because I played an ARAM with David yesterday or the day before, and I ran it down. It was awful. And then I messaged David and was like, hey, I'm sorry about the ARAM, but do any Cloud9 players want to come on Hotline League tonight? We had somebody else who was booked, another player, but he was not feeling up to a show tonight. And so I was hitting up David, and he's like, Berserker's down. And then he said, let me check with the other teams, because maybe we can see if we could find somebody else to come on as well. Because I did tell him I was trying to find 2 pro players. And so very, very kind of David to hit up everybody. And I think they have like a group chat. And yeah, that was how Castle ended up. So I really appreciate you coming on, Castle. I really appreciate you coming on, Berserker. It's been great. Thanks to everyone who watched. Shout out to all of our sponsors. I do want to make a quick broadcast note, which is next Monday, because of the holiday. I think we talked about this a little bit, Cubby, right? I'm pretty sure I could find it in the chat. Because it's a holiday weekend, we will be taking Monday off. There's also no other League of Legends happening outside of Challenger Amateur. Anywhere, definitely no League of Legends that we would talk about that exists. So we're going to take a break for Monday. So we will be back in 2 weeks. Note that I call that a 2-week break. Just worth pointing out. We're going to miss next week's show, so we'll be on a 2-week break, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks. So
you're really good at math, Travis.
For instance, if we miss 2 episodes, I would be like, we'll be back in 3 weeks after our 3-week break. So yeah.
Really good math.
Anyway, thanks everyone for 2 weeks, so 20 days, says Tonington. It's more than that. Anyway, thanks so much to Berserker. Thanks so much to Castle for coming on the show. Thanks everyone for watching. We will see you all in 2 weeks. I'll figure out some fun. I'll either do a broadcast on my own or we'll upload some content or something to YouTube and the podcast channel to help everybody keep steady. So see you all soon. Catch you later. Bye.